it's time for the Grumpy Guy Show. This is Derek talking about episode number 75. It's only 5 minutes. Recorded on December 13th, 2022. Tonight we talk about lawsuits without proof, celebrity worship, and internet sleuthing. Stick around, it's a good show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So, tonight, I got something I gotta make a correction on. So, yeah, last week I said that, we had a whole lot of views on Spotify. And I looked at it a little bit more, and yeah, we've had a lot of views, but they're very, very spread out. We have 7 followers, but that's about as good as it gets. They're apparently, they might be bots or something like that, because, they're not actually watching the videos, which really sucks. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of starts. Let me see if I can pull that up, so I can actually give the correct stats this week. All right, so the last 7 days we have absolutely no views. So if I go all time, that doesn't help me out. Still show the same stuff. All right, so we've got 296 starts. Now what that means is that people didn't actually listen to anything. All right. Measured when a Spotify user listens to 0 or more seconds of any episode in your catalog. How can you call it a listen if they didn't actually hear any of it? Anyway.
0 seconds.
Yeah. So then the next measurement is streams. Measured when a Spotify user listens to 60 or more seconds of any episode in your catalog. So we have 296 starts, which apparently is pointless. And then we have 173 streams, which means they've listened to at least 1 minute.
Yep.
And then there's a total of 47 unique listeners. Of course, how many of them were part of that 296 that didn't actually listen, who knows? And then we got 7 followers. So, yeah. So I guess perhaps I'll perhaps not this year. We'll see how things go, but perhaps we'll start posting on YouTube at some point soon. It all depends. I don't know. Just another place to post, another place where I got to pay attention to things, and who knows. But anyhow, thank you for those 7 people who are following us, and to anybody who's actually listening for more than 60 seconds.
0 seconds.
Yeah, well, if they're listening for 60 seconds or less, I don't know how much I'm really going to thank them, because, listen to the whole thing, I know all we do is complain, but we have fun doing it. If you comment someplace, I don't care where you comment. I think you can comment on Spotify, I don't know. But, comment someplace, and we'll respond. We'll do something. We'll Ryan and I'll talk, and maybe we'll set up a Discord server. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I know a Discord server's free, but it means we got to actually pay attention to it.
Yep.
But I don't know. At any rate, so what do you say we transition to our first topic?
Our famous transitions.
That's right. Well, we shouldn't call them famous. We should call them infamous, because they're not famous.
Why are they infamous and not famous?
All right. How about unfamous?
Unfamous.
I wouldn't call 7 followers famous. But anyhow.
Well, all these restaurants with only one chain that aren't even chains with one location call themselves world famous.
Yeah. It just kills me. You drive by these places. World famous hamburger. What makes it world famous? I've never heard of your place.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Worldwide chains like McDonald's, I get.
it doesn't even have to be worldwide chains. I mean,
National chains, even.
it doesn't even have to necessarily be a chain. I mean, but when you're
Mm-hmm.
driving someplace and you're driving through a town, not a village, not even a hamlet, just a town,
Mm-hmm.
and there's somebody there with a sign that says world famous. Okay, well, you probably serve about 2 or 3 thousand residents in the town that you're in, maybe five.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go with five. You can't be world famous. I mean, it's not like you've got people driving there just to have your burgers. You know,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, sure, they're probably driving, but it's from that little area where you're located, not even statewide. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, one of the nice things the state's been doing the last few years is, they have food contests. Basically, the biggest one is obviously hamburgers, and
Yep.
there's a lot of places that are producing better hamburgers than what you get down in New York City.
Hmm.
Which is something because New York City is supposed to be one of the food capitals of the world type of thing. I mean,
Yep.
that's where a lot of big name chefs go to open a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And you get some of these smaller places. Like there's a place in Syracuse that over the last 15 years or so they've won best burger like 10 times or something like that.
Must
So
be good burgers.
yeah. But some of my problem with that is, the a good burger to a lot of people is just piling more and more crap on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, to me, a really good burger is a burger that you don't need to put stuff on. If you can just eat,
Other than salt and pepper, obviously.
well, just seasoning the meat. If you
Mm-hmm.
can eat it without putting all kind, you get some of these places they'll put bacon and they'll put cheese and then they'll put barbecue sauce and then they'll put an egg and they'll put it's like, at what point does it stop being a burger and now you're just making a freaking salad on a bun?
Eggs should not be on burgers, in my opinion. But that's my bias against eggs talking.
I mean, I'm not biased against eggs. I don't like runny eggs. I don't like yolk by itself. And
I just don't like that way of making eggs.
yeah, but to each their own. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Some people are gonna like that, but when you're piling so much stuff on there, it's not a burger anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just a sandwich. Don't call it a burger just because there's a burger patty in there or a steak patty. All right,
A
so
beef patty.
yeah. So on to our first topic. So this surrounds one of the most popular artists out there right now,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it's a musical artist, Taylor Swift.
Yep. Holy crap, she's
Yeah,
popular.
yeah, she's really popular. I don't know. I don't get it. She's like every other musical act out there now that's starting up. They all sound the same, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, any popularity she has with men is more than likely about, oh, look at how hot she is.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
she's all
pretty
that
much it.
attractive. I mean, yeah, she's okay, but I'm not gonna go listening to her bull crap of a show where she's just lip syncing because she can't remember lyrics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to her whine about, oh, I'm not getting paid enough by Spotify or Apple Music. Oh, woe is me. You know what? Talk to your record label. Sign a better deal with them because that's the problem. It's
Mm-hmm.
not Spotify. It's not iTunes. It's not YouTube Music. It's your record label. They're sucking these companies dry. But at any rate, so she announced a big tour. And I'm like, all right, yeah, great.
Okay,
You
whatever.
know, and of course, she's so popular that, you know, and people are so willing to pay hundreds of dollars just to get a stupid ticket that it crashed the Ticketmaster site. And, you know, so a whole bunch of people decided, well, we're going to start a class action lawsuit against Ticketmaster because they did this on purpose. They made it so that scalpers could get in there so that they can get more money for these tickets. And I'm like, you really have proof of that? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, scalpers are a problem, don't get me wrong. But really, people, you know, where are you getting this information from? You got to have some kind of justification as to where you're getting that kind of information from to make that kind of an accusation. The problem is, and it's the big problem there is with all kinds of stuff in the United States, there's no consequences if you lose. So you get a class action lawsuit, and of course there's tons of lawyers out there that are going to say, hey, either you win or we don't get paid. So there's no consequences if you lose. You know, and more than likely what's going to happen is Ticketmaster's going to settle out of court, and the reason they're going to settle out of court is to get it out of the news. But they got a problem. Yeah, not Ticketmaster. These people have a problem because it's already out of the news. You know, so Ticketmaster's going to say, yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, but everybody's so lawsuit happy here in the United States. It's not even funny anymore, you know?
People will find a reason for lawsuits just for the sake of suing people.
Yeah. You know, it's ridiculous. Everybody's got this get rich quick scheme in their head. And you know, it's not helping that these lawyers get rich as well. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think it's really stupid. It's a really stupid idea that we can sue for something like this without any kind of proof whatsoever.
Some of the stupidest lawsuits I've read about are mostly in auto racing, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I'm a racing fan.
Really?
The one with Tony Stewart and that kitty ended up hitting. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
The kid was wearing a dark suit on a dark track. Plus, he was high. He was basically asking to get hit.
It's not a matter of the fact that
Plus,
he's wearing.
Tony swerved to get out of the way.
It's not a matter of the fact that he was wearing a dark suit in a dark section of the track doesn't matter. What matters is he's supposed to stay in the car, and he didn't.
That too, yes.
You know, I mean, at some point, people have to be responsible for their own actions. And simply put, if you're going to get out of a car and not follow rules, you are the one that's the problem, not somebody else.
Exactly.
You know? But I don't know whatever happened from that.
It didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. You know, more than likely, you didn't hear about it. Tony settled out of court. Yeah. It's damage control. And unfortunately...
another good one I just remembered was what racing fans refer to as the Wicked Witch of the South, suing her own stepson over his last name. Because he decided to name a collection of homes he was selling after him and his family. And she sued him because it infringed on her late husband's legacy, apparently. Even though he has every right to use his own name.
Yeah, you know, that kind of goes back to a really stupid lawsuit. I think it was
that one I know for a fact was thrown out by the judge.
Yeah,
At least I think it was.
I think it was the early 90s. Microsoft tried to copyright
The
the
word
word
Windows.
Windows.
And
And
didn't the judge throw that one out too?
The judge said, I think Windows have been around a lot longer than your operating system. And that's not a quote, but that's a paraphrase that's pretty darn close to the quote. So, some judges get it. Unfortunately, not many get it anymore.
Some judges know how to use their heads.
Yeah, I mean, some judges are actually applying the law instead of, what's going to get them to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate,
What's going to get them to the Supreme Court?
yeah, that's really what it comes down to. The next level, whatever that next level is, whether it's moving up higher in the court system or running for office.
Mm-hmm.
You get your name out there. But at any rate, so what do you say we transition to the next topic?
All right, what do we got?
So next, let's talk about the release of Brittany Griner.
Hmm?
You don't know her, huh?
I've heard a little
But she's
about
a
it.
celebrity,
Cut
Ryan.
snippets about it. As you said a lot during the Thanksgiving Day parade, who?
Yeah.
Not only that, but you also say it a lot during the New Year's Rockin' Eve thing.
Yeah. But now seriously, I
I'm
mean,
gonna keep a tally this year of how many times you say that.
there you go. That'll be fun. So,
My guess is 100
yeah, maybe.
plus.
Depends on how much I pay attention to it. So
Anywho,
Brittany Griner is a she's an NBA women's NBA basketball player who
none of those players are celebrities
well,
because nobody watches.
yeah, I'm not going to argue that. But she went over to Russia for some reason. I don't know what it was, but she took some what was it, hashish oil or something like that, some kind of oil for a vape cartridge that's illegal in Russia. And when she was going through customs or whatever it was, she got arrested for it. And then she whined, and of course all of her fans whined, because we got to get her back here. We got to get her back. And all I could think was, okay, she knowingly carried a substance there. Whether she knew it was illegal or not, that's a different story. But at the same time, you're going to a foreign country. You might want to check the laws.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been this huge hubbub about freeing her and everything, and so finally,
Probably because people don't real. That's probably because people don't know the reason why she got arrested.
oh, they do. It's all over the news. If they don't, then they're stupid. They're just not paying attention at all. But
you underestimate how stupid people are.
Yeah. But
I bet the people of Twitter think that she got arrested because Putin didn't like her or whatever.
Yeah, well, he might not like her because she's different.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, so of course it's all over the news, and of course every single WNBA game since then, there's people holding signs up, "Free Britney, bring Britney back," blah blah blah, and I'm just like, whatever. So then, there's somebody who's a former Marine who's been in Russian prison for 5 years now, or something along those lines, for a crime that we don't believe he committed. Okay. We, being the United States government, do not believe he committed.
The United States.
So the brilliance that our government has, they're going through and they're trying to negotiate to free him, and of course they've been trying to negotiate to free him for a while.
It
And
clearly hasn't worked.
no, because the Russians believe that he was doing he was spying.
Yep.
Which I don't know. All I can go by is what our government tells us, and our government says that no, he wasn't spying.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he was or not's a different story, but you know, so we've supposedly been trying to get him back, and instead of actually getting him back, they try and use this. They called him. I can't remember. But we had a Russian in custody, who was serving a term because he sold arms to terrorist groups that were used to attack us. So, our government's negotiating, trying to use him to get back Paul Whelan, I believe is his name. I could be off on the pronunciation of the last name, but they've been trying to get him back using this terrorist. I guess you can't really call him a terrorist. Somebody accused of supporting terrorism.
A guy who supposedly worked with terrorists.
Yeah, and he was convicted, so there's something there. They had some kind of proof or whatever. So our brilliant government decides, well, we're going to negotiate. We want to trade this one guy for Paul Whelan plus Brittany. And of course the Russians are like, no, that ain't happening. So they keep going, trying to discuss it, and don't you know, we agree to trade this guy for Brittany. Why? All I have to say, I mean, don't get me wrong. The idea that an American is held in another country, it's not the greatest. But at the same time, she willingly went into this country with a banned substance for that country. End of story.
Whether she knew it was banned or not.
Yeah, end of story. She should serve out her time, plain and simple. If it was banned in New York State and she came into New York State carrying it and got arrested, we're not gonna let her out just because, oh, well, she's a celebrity. No. We're not going to negotiate with some other state to let her out. No, she broke the law. Plain and simple. She should serve her time, and we should have Paul Whelan back. I mean, that's all there is to it. The idea that we've spent, I call it spent, but we've allowed this supporter of terrorism against our country free for a celebrity is ridiculous. If the celebrity didn't do anything, okay, fine. I'm all for bringing her back. If it was a false charge, but she admitted to carrying it. Oh, I didn't know that it was in there. That was the only not guilty part of what she stated. She said, yes, it's mine, but I didn't know it was in there. Okay, well, it's yours. It's in there.
Yep.
The whole saying, possession is 9/10 of the law. I mean, there you go. You were in possession of an illegal substance going into a foreign country. Serve your time. And it's not like they put her on some super long prison term. I think it was like a 5-year term. I mean, seriously, it's freaking nuts that we've done that. But this is the problem there is with celebrities in this celebrity status. We bend over backwards for them.
We do.
The other guy. I mean, granted, the only reason we know anything about the other guy is because he's an American in a Russian prison, who's likely falsely accused. But beyond that, beyond that, we wouldn't know about him. The only reason we know about her is because she's a celebrity. and she's got people who are making a big noise because she's a
celebrity.
Yeah, well, I'm just like,
WNBA players are not celebrities.
And then they were talking about, oh, she's got such a horrible situation. She's 6'9" and they gave her a bed that's only 5'6" and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? It's prison. She wasn't freezing. She wasn't starving.
Mm-hmm.
She
had a roof over her head.
Yeah.
It's more than a lot of people can say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unfortunately.
But I think, as a country, we need to stop worshiping these celebrities. What do you want to call them?
We do.
A celebrity in quotes? Or if they're an actual celebrity. We need to stop worshiping them. Plain and simple. I don't care if you're talking about Brittany Griner, you're talking about, Elon Musk. We need to stop worshiping them. They are people.
Americans will rip off their arms and legs just to be spat on by their favorite celebrities.
Yeah. No thanks.
That is just sad.
Very much so. So, what do you say we scoot on to our next one?
What do we got? I believe this would be the final one of the night.
Yeah, this would be the final one, and probably have to be a little quick because we rambled on quite a bit about Taylor Swift.
So what's this one?
So, as I'm sure most people have heard, there was murders in Idaho of 4 college students. And,
Wait, there are 4 people that live in Idaho?
Yeah, I know, right? That's shocking alone. But that means there's actually...
There were 2.
That means there's actually 5 because,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because there are people in Idaho that are still alive.
But at any rate, so,
It's like 5 more people than Wyoming.
They were talking on the news tonight about how the internet sleuths are causing problems and everything. And, I was watching it. It just, I added this last week. It's not like I just added it tonight, but, the internet sleuthing thing is really, really kind of what this is about. So, before I walked out to start cooking dinner one day last week, the 4:30 news brief ended, and it was like Entertainment Tonight or something like that comes on afterwards. And before I walked out, and the police are trying to figure out what happened in the 2 hours after these 4 students left a party when their apartment is only 5-minute walk away. I'm like, okay, so you're talking about a 5-minute walk, but 20 minutes after they left this party, you have video of them someplace else at a food truck getting food. And
so obviously they weren't going back to the apartment.
Yeah, they didn't go directly home. They went and got food. And then more than likely, they sat and ate the food. Come on.
Probably having to stop somewhere to eat the food.
I don't get it, and they're so focused on these stupid little details that they think really make a difference. Look, it's only a 5-minute walk. Okay, well that's 5 minutes if you're going to cut through about 5 different yards. Because they show this path. It's not like it's a sidewalk or anything. It's not like it's a road. It's between houses. So perhaps it isn't such a 5-minute walk after all.
Perhaps it's not a 5-minute walk now, is it?
Yeah. And then they keep saying, the big thing tonight was, well, they haven't named any suspects yet. Okay, well, this is supposedly a party apartment where they have constant parties in there. they're college students. I'm not going to, I'm going to say there's not a whole lot of cleaning going on, which means if this is a party place, you've probably got thousands and thousands of fingerprints all over the place.
There's a lot of potential suspects.
Yeah. You got thousands of suspects, and the worst part is you don't have fingerprints to compare them to. You can take fingerprints all you want, but if it's not somebody who's got a previous conviction of any kind or who's been arrested for any reason, those fingerprints aren't going to show up in any kind of database. I've never been arrested for something, so my fingerprints aren't going to show up anywhere. And until I do something that gets me arrested and they take my fingerprints, they wouldn't be able to match me to fingerprints they find at a crime scene. So, I don't know. Looks like your video froze up there, bud.
Yeah.
That's alright. People have probably heard the music starting up in the background.
Anyway, good night.
We'll see ya.